afternoon, everyone. All right, everyone must have been tired. Did we stop at the subway booth? All right, good afternoon, everyone. There we go, all right. Hey, isn't this a fantastic event? I mean, from drones to robotics, programming, Vencor's flight simulator in the back. I want to first start by saying thank you to Washington Executive and also the Naismith School for introducing us to you all, the workforce of the future. It's going to be the workforce of the future that comes and solves some of our toughest problems, and I'm excited for that, and this is a good opportunity for you all to get an idea of what those problems look like. I'm also excited to introduce our next speaker. He's someone that understands Northern Virginia's economy and how education is directly tied to student achievement. During his tenure as chairman of the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, he increased educational investment by over 30%. He's a champion in the community, a champion in STEM. It's my pleasure on behalf of Vencor to introduce the Honorable Congressman Gerry O'Connell.
Thank you so much. Actually, all Irish names sound alike, but it's Connolly. It's great to be back at Naismith. My daughter went here for the first 2 years of her academic career, and I could see STEM at work in this school. So 20 years ago, here's my little 4-year-old on her own computer in a computer lab, pacing herself and learning her letters and her numbers, and it was an incredible thing to watch in terms of the power of science and technology from the earliest age. The other thing I appreciated here at Naismith, we were worried as parents, were the overachieving thing, are we pushing our kids too hard? But let me tell you, a 3-year-old is a sponge. They love learning. Learning is innate to the human being, especially children, and especially if we can make it interesting and fun. And I didn't feel guilty anymore. And she got a great start in life and ultimately got her master's at University of Virginia in the workforce here in Northern Virginia. Science, STEM education. If the United States is going to remain a great country, if the United States is going to remain the dominant economic and innovative player in the world 20 years from now, we got to invest in 3 things. We got to invest in education. An educated workforce is the ticket to success. And in Northern Virginia, we know that. We've invested in our schools in a big way, and it has paid off for us in a big way. We have in Fairfax County, where you are right now, of the 100 big jurisdictions in America, we're one of them. We have the lowest crime rate. We have the highest high school graduation rate, the lowest dropout rate, the highest percentage of kids going on to higher education in the United States of America. Why? Because we invested in schools. We know their value. We know that's an investment with big payoff. The second thing you got to do is invest in research and development. Think about the internet. The federal government 100% funded that R&D project. And originally it was closed and just for the Pentagon Defense Department. Then somebody thought, this could have commercial applicability. And of course the world got changed. How many of you here do not use the internet? If I'd given this speech 30 years ago, everyone would have been looking like, what's the internet? It's ubiquitous. That means everybody has it. Everybody uses it, and it has transformed every aspect of our lives. Medical, commercial, retail, education. It's a disruptor itself in a good sense. Incredible. And whatever that cost, that investment by the federal government, worth every penny. Do it again. GPS. How many of us use GPS technology? Yeah. I have to explain to my young staff what a map was. Not that long ago, if you were driving, up the East Coast or down south, when you crossed the state line, the first thing you did was go to a gas station to get a map to try to figure out directions where you were headed. Now you've got this lovely British lady telling you to turn right in 3.2 kilometers or miles. Incredible. It's, again, a technology that was started by the federal government. Somebody saw the commercial applicability, and it has, again, changed everything. How did all of that happen? Because we invested in STEM. We developed a cadre of engineers and technologists and scientists and mathematicians who could envision not only the technology, but the applicability of the technology. We led the world and still do in innovation. But other countries have more than caught up in making those three investments. We need 1 million more STEM graduates than right now we're projected to have. We need to make sure we're making the investments in infrastructure to help shore up the investments in education and R&D so that ours remains a competitive country and a dominant player in the world marketplace. China is doing it exponentially. You can go to parts of Asia and parts of Europe, for that matter, and see the investments they've made in their transportation systems, in their universities, and they're catching up. And that competition's good. But we can't have crumbling infrastructure. We can't have failing schools. We can't lag behind in new innovation and new inventions in the field of research and development. And that's why STEM and what we're talking about today is so important. It has huge payoff, and in today's era of technology, it will shape the future. What kind of investments we make, how big we make them, absolutely will shape the world we're going to live in 20 and 25 years hence. And that may seem to young people in the audience a long time, but it's just around the corner. And so I pray that our country makes the kinds of investments we here in Fairfax and Northern Virginia have been willing to make. And it's made for the greatest quality of life in America and one of the greatest in the world. And our country needs to do the same. And that's why elections are important. That's why decisions we make as taxpayers, as voters, is important, because we are truly shaping our future. So programs like today and seeing such a wonderful crowd around the whole issue of STEM, great. Let's do a lot more of it. So have a successful day. And to all the young people in the audience, pursue STEM and have a successful life. Thank you for being here. Thank you.